I used to play Geometry Dash on my phone. I still have it on my phone, I say. I grew up and I had the light version for my iPod. I had the Geometry Light. And then I remember they added the spin-off games, and there was like the fire one and the ice one. And I remember, I think I had like the light version of those, or those were free. I never made it past Stereo Madness. I was that bad. I don't know what it was, but anyways, I recently acquired Geometry Dash on the computer because just Geometry Dash videos have been popping up in my YouTube feed. The algorithm gets to me, it controls my mind. Anyways, so when I became a grown-up, right? When I became an adult, one of the first things I bought when I was like, because we're running out of it, but for a lot of games, and there was at least a period, right? Free to play is so sketchy because you're just loaded with microtransactions. So it's dangerous to play if you have a wallet because it's constantly encouraging you to make poor financial decisions. But the like solid games on the phone you could buy that are, like 99 cents or, $1.99, $2.99, $9.99. A lot of times they were, the ad-free experience. You got all the premium just all in that package. And that's something about Geometry Dash, right? So I became a big boy, became an adult, and I purchased Geometry Dash for the phone. Still have it. I don't want to accidentally show something I don't want to show from my phone. But yeah, I mean, you can see, well, I don't know how well you can see. It's, yeah, proper Geometry Dash right there. And anyways, I feel like though with my thumb when I'm like playing the game, because I've always had my screen is always a little dry, and I think it's because my hands are typically kind of dry, like they're not. I recently started doing skincare stuff, only like really on my face, but I guess like that lotion's on my hands for some amount of time. I don't know. Maybe I should be a lotiony person. That I hear your hands get ashy if you don't put lotion on. But wow, way off topic. Anyways, what I was trying to say is, so I always felt like there was like input problems with the thumb, right? So when it seems like, at least from the internet, a lot of people play on the computer version of Geometry Dash, I was like, that makes sense because it's just click with the mouse, bada boom, bada bing. Anyway, so I played, I think last night. It may not have been last night. It been actually, I think it was a couple nights ago. But I played beat Stereo Madness because I've grown. I'm a grown up now. I also played Dash. Managed to complete Dash. Threw a bunch of mechanics at me that I know of because of videos but I've never played with. Because these 3 levels are about as far as I got. Poltergeist, I promise you. I promise. It's not going to make any sense. I can do it. Like, I could do this first try. I'm going to do it first try right after this. But I think I did something. I've been having a weird problem. And my computer has and this isn't everything, right? But just to give some idea of the specs, I have a 5080 in this computer, which I know there's some drama with the 50 RTX series, right? But I have a 5080 in there, and I still get lag on this game sometimes. And if I get lag, it just kills me. And you gotta kind of stay calm for the game, or else with the stress, it makes you not play well. So yeah, I lagged, died at 75%, and then it threw me off, and I couldn't do the rest of them. Going back into it, no lag this time, right? I think I got Poltergeist first try. I'm just gonna play, right? I got Stereo Madness back on track. I did those. I'm gonna get Poltergeist first try, because this is the orb level, right? I also have, I've not taken care of my eyes the way you really should, right? Stared at screens a lot of my life, so it's hard for me to see. There's so much visual movement going on the screen. It kind of hurts my eyes. And I'm curious if that has to do with the fact that I am I'm just not taking care of my eyes or something, right? So, like, it's because it feels like, and I remember there's a coin up here. I think I have to dip. Yeah, dip one more time. Oh, sorry. Oh, whew. Flabbergasted. Okay. And there's another coin. I don't have the confidence yet to go for the coins that you have to, like, try to kill yourself, right? Throw yourself into the pit. Like, I think you have to drop there or something. Oh, crap. I was so focused on the coin. I've never played this game while talking before. That's my excuse, alright? That's the excuse I'm going with. But we'll, dang. Yeah, you have to drop down at some point in that pit to get the coin. That's something. I'm going to try my best to not play while squinting the whole time. But, like, I feel like I have to. Because it's hard to describe. I figured out recently that I had an astigmatism. Like, I think I was in denial about it. I haven't seen a doctor. But thankfully, this is something that's very easy to diagnose. When you have the streaming lights or whatever, when light has all those rays coming off of it. Oh, I missed the coin. Okay. Whoopsies. And I've always had that, so it's like really hard to see when I'm driving at night. I just kind of, or back when I had a car, I would just, my dad actually taught me this trick. Spot the rightmost white line of, like, the car lanes, and this is in the US, right? Spot that line and just kind of follow that. Like, now I drive a bike. I did see that jump pad, but I don't know how to get to it. Wow, that kind of spooked me. I feel like I need to lock in a bit because we're getting towards the end of the level and I don't want to accidentally mess up. Yeah, now I'm on a bike, it's not the same. Okay, that was not first try, but we'll count it as first try, right? Steamrolling. I don't know why I got that. Okay. Ah, man, it was the run I didn't get the coin to. Now I'm on the bike, it's a little different. I have the mirrored visor, which typically it's really not that bad to see at night, right? Not at all. But it does. There are some times, like, yeah, especially because I need to get a new visor. Mine scratched, like, from not treating my helmet with the full respect it deserves, probably. There's some scratches and stuff on the visor. And it fogs kind of badly. That could just be because the weather. I need to not look at the webcam. Oh, okay. So this introduces the reverse gravity. Or no, I feel like that was on, like, the 3rd level or something. Oh, wow. This is a little stressful. Okay. I have a lot of orbs. Thank you, Mr. Shopkeeper. Okay. Okay. But yeah, no, so I have the problem anyways, where I see, like, any light source has all those ray tracing beams from it. And I'm curious if that plays into why something like playing something like this kind of hurts my eyeballs. I even have it on my screen, though, like on my phone screen. I'm curious if I need, like, because glasses typically, or at least in all the cases I've talked about them, right, with people, it's always been for blurriness, right? Like, it's blurry. And so that's why you wear the glasses, but not for, like, pain. Like, eye pain from seeing. Like, how pathetic is that? I have eye pain from seeing too much. Oh, no. Okay. By the way, and this is something I've had to work on. The reason I was so bad at Geometry Dash back in the day, right, outside of just being a kid, right, was I was a panic jumper. So all of those, and you can see I'm a lot better about it now, but all of, like, that I would have jumped. 100% I would have jumped. And I always jumped when falling too, which in most levels you can't do, right? You can't get away with jumping. You have to fall off in order to actually get it. You can't just jump. So it was something where that would always cook me. Which, I mean, I don't even know that I ever played this. Oh, dang, okay. That was my bad. I don't know that I've ever played this level, actually, even. I'm sure I have. I'm pretty sure I tried every like level that's unlocked. You have to get a certain amount of coins to unlock some of the middle levels. It's funny that dash or finger dash then into dash don't require a coin level thing. I think it's because they were added like post, right? They were added for certain updates to the game. I know dash, I believe, was the 2.2 level. Well, anyways, so all the levels that were unlocked, which back when I played there was no finger. Whoa, that's a little skip there. Ah! I don't know if you're supposed to jump to that one. But it's unfortunate I keep dying to it. And I feel more comfortable with my hand on the WASD keys, right? The WASD, which I feel like I've heard people say WASD. Doesn't make any sense. You're adding an extra A to the end of WASD. Wow, that was some coyote time right there. Wow. Yeah. I'm surprised I'm able to talk this much while playing something so intense. I don't know if it's hurting my performance or not. I mean, it has to be, right? Because the brain doesn't really multitask. It just kind of, you split back and forth. Wow, nothing. You split back and forth between tasks that you can't, there's no like multi-processing, no multi-threaded processing, right? I guess there is, right? Because I mean, there's whatever the subconscious is doing. But from my understanding, anyways, from the consciousness perspective, there's no multi-threading, so you're not. Multitaskers just jump from one task to the other really quickly. Dang it. I'm gonna try not jumping. I'm saying that out loud, but I'm gonna have to actually practice not jump and fall and see if that gets me there. Because I have to be able to land to go through that blue portal, right? I did play a community You've Been Trolled level. I don't know that I completed it. I think I got really close on that one too. I also know there's like a hack you can get for this game, or yeah, like a hacked client version of the game that comes with a bunch of tools. I think I don't know what all the tools are, but I think the only tool I would use is, I'm trying to play through all these levels without using practice mode, just because. Now granted, yes, I'm aware I already broke that crap. I already jumped. I already did the thing I said I didn't want to do. Hold on, I'm gonna try to do something crazy, and I'm gonna take. Wow. Okay. Everything went wrong. I took a sip and got splashed back because I put it down too quickly, I guess, and then I died to a spike. Yes. No. I decided to play dash, just dash, the 2.2 level, and I did go into practice mode on that one. So I've already screwed up my ability to on the computer version. Anyways, I was like, the computer version doesn't have any progress, right? So it'd be cool to have 100% progress on all the main levels, no practice mode, right? But I bring that up because from the cheat client that people have, okay, is that, no, that wasn't the one. That is one I need to jump on. Okay. From the hack client, or tool, it might be injected. I don't know if it's injected or it's a client modification. I haven't looked that into it. I keep getting splashback. It's terrible. It's bothering me a lot. I don't like it. I don't know if it has to do with the design of the cup or what. Those cups just apparated into my existence. That's what happens when you live with roommates. You're doing college, right? Your roommates will move out. I guess maybe they... Okay, I need to be a little bit more locked in. You have roommates. They have... Everybody has their own dishes, whatever. And so sometimes I guess people just think that something belongs to someone else. Anyways, the blue cups that I have, the turquoise, whatever they are, they were living on campus dorms. I don't have any family to go like home to for holidays, right? I have my dad and my sister, but my sister's attending college. My dad is truck driving right now. So anyways, yeah, no. So I stay over on the holidays, right? and move out and everything. I mean, I'm in my own place now, but for most of my college career, I was doing the dorms at campus, right? So, all that's to say, people move out, they leave stuff, either because they don't want it anymore, or they don't think it belongs to them, they think it belongs to another one of the roommates. So, there's some dishes. Now, obviously, I've had the unfortunate, I was going to say unfortunate pleasure. I've unfortunately had to deal with a lot of dirty roommates that don't keep their space clean. It's unfortunate, but it is a tendency with guys, especially because if you're living with people new to living on their own. Well, I got it with jumping, so I guess it's possible. And I freaked out because of the fact that I got it. I was too ecstatic about getting it that I wasn't locked into the next section and immediately jumped on a spike like a doofus. But no, yeah, so the blue cups were in my freshman year. I got those. I lived with an RA, actually. Or I was supposed to, right? So we had this little app where you can talk to your roommates or whatever beforehand. None of mine ever responded. I had really bad luck with roommates, basically all of my... I'm still in college, right? I'm almost done, but I'm still in college. So I can't... Dang. I need to jump earlier. I guess maybe not jump at all. I say not jump at all, and my brain goes, okay, we got you, fam. We got you. No. Really bad luck. With roommates. Right, so I had an RA I was supposed to be living with, and I had some other roommate. Anyways, to not get too into details, but apparently I move in. One of my roommates never moves in. One of my roommates is actually a resident assistant, an RA. I know that only because when I was getting my keys, I got my key from him, and he goes, "Oh, you're my roommate." I was like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "Yeah, I'm the RA for that floor." Cool. Shucks. That's my bad. That's my bad. That's also my bad. And then some other guy lived with me. He was dirty, unfortunately. Like he failed his half of the room inspection check. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Supposedly, this is the story that I learned from at the time, friend of mine told me about it later. Like she heard from someone else. It was a whole thing. A lot of word of mouth. So I don't know for sure, but that my RA roommate, my dirty roommate had made my RA roommate's girlfriend uncomfortable, or like was continuously making her uncomfortable. So my RA roommate moved out of that room, which I'm very curious what actually happened, because I later went on to be an RA, right? I was a resident assistant just my last year there, before this current one. And our campus is very stingy about like the moving policy, so I'm curious. Anyways, the story was he went and like lived with his girlfriend. Oh crap. So anyways, that was, I guess, like immediate, because I never saw my RA roommate. I'm pretty sure he was basically staying the night with his girlfriend or at a buddy's or something. I never saw the RA in my dorm outside of when he did room checks. Then yeah, dirty guy I saw like a couple times in passing. He like left and he was gone for a while during break. During like after winter break, right? He left for a while. And then he came back like a couple weeks. Hold on, I might actually need to log in for a second. Ah, crap. I keep doing that. It's really, it's getting to me a little bit in my heart of hearts. He left. And so, or came back. And he came in with a buddy and moved out. Like a couple weeks later. I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know if he kept attending college or if he had dropped out or what happened there. But yeah, so I ended up completely alone. in a dorm by myself, which was nice. Obviously, I came to college being like, yeah, roommates, meeting new people, whatever, living with people. I mean, yeah, I enjoy people. It's aggravating. It's so far into level 2. This is where practice mode would be a thing, and I will play it. So I could just practice that little area and get my kerfuffle out of the way. Anyways, ended up living alone until like the very, very last few weeks of school, right? Like just a couple weeks left. A new guy moved in because one of his roommates had like assaulted his girlfriend. I don't know what is going on. But yeah, no. So he moved in. He was chill. We were on good terms, and then I think I was playing the game with my best friend, and he like came in and was like, "Hey man, I'm going to Craigslist." He was going to some store. It might have been Costco. He was like, "Do you want me to pick you up anything?" And we were in the middle of I feel bad for this, and I never, like, I didn't scream or anything. I realize I'm setting this up like I'm a terrible person. Wow, I got the coin, but I was not paying attention. Whoopsies. Okay. It was not that bad, but I could see how, like, because we didn't really ever talk again after this moment, so I feel like this might have been the catalyst for something, to which I should have apologized then, or like clarified. Anyways, my buddy and we were playing Terraria, like modded, I believe, and we were doing a boss fight. We had several attempts, and I think it was going well. It's super high stress, and he kind of just like knocks on the door and comes in. Freaked me out a little bit, and he was like, "Do you need anything?" I was like, "Not right now." I didn't scream or anything. I was just like, "Not right now." And he was like, "Okay." I just kind of shoot him away very quickly, and obviously there was some stress in my voice, so I don't know if that. Oh. Okay. Okay, I'm actually gonna try this time. So yeah, but anyways, it didn't really interact again after that. Or we might have. My memory with like anything is kind of always hazy. I don't pride my memory on these kinds of things to be accurate, or like perfectly accurate. I got general broad strokes, right? If we did interact, it was never like a meaningful interaction after that point, I don't think. Ugh. But yeah, so for most of so freshman year for me was a little weird when it came to roommates. Sophomore year, okay, should not have survived that. Hold on, let me lock in a little bit. No idea how to get that coin. I'm honestly struggling. And then, I spent summer, again, because I didn't really have anywhere to go. I spent summer in in a different dorm, because there are several dorm buildings at the school, right? Wow. Oh, no. That's so disappointing. 95%. That's so sad. Okay. Yeah, so I went to there's tons of different dorm buildings on the campus. So I went to a different one I went to the one that's always open during the summer. It's like the only one that is. I've definitely said where I go before, and like, I mean, where I've been has been in the background of videos before. So I'm trying to have some modicum of privacy, right? I'm at least trying to pretend that I don't want people to be able to find me in real life, stumble across a video, someone with malicious intent, and they go, "That guy with the middle part, let's go get him." But it is at times making certain elements of storytelling more confusing than they need to be. right? Lag. Hello, lag. Hi. What? That was weird. Little tearing there for a second. And yeah, so I lived there for the summer. I'm really trying to remember where So there's like a chunk of my memory missing. Hold on. Unless, oh, right. I think it's I'm getting bogged up with the confusion of the fact that I've always been slightly ahead in terms of classification versus years attended. So my sophomore year is when I was the RA, but I was like classified as a junior for some portion of that, and so I was thinking that was my junior year, but this that I'm currently in is my junior year. So even though I'm currently classified as a senior, so that's where the confusion was coming from. So spent summer in that housing, then I got hired as an RA and lived in a very different dorm building. Didn't get to choose. No, it's the unfortunate thing of freshman year, right? Didn't know anybody at the school. So I had random roommates, right? And then I made friends, whatever, right? And I had people I could room with, but for financial reasons, the RA position was really what I needed to be doing. So I went for that, and then I got it. And you can't choose your roommates because they want to put the RA with the students that don't have friends, right? They'll mirror into that world, to give them some amount of because the RA's, paid to be friendly with everybody. So, help the people that maybe haven't established connections and stuff at the school yet, right? Which totally on board for. But yeah, so I missed that opportunity. And then I gotta stop jumping out of that because it works sometimes, but it's definitely the riskiest version of that. Okay. Trying to lock in a little bit again. Okay. Now, yeah, okay, don't hang at the ceiling. But do be prepared because isn't there... I thought there was like a corner. Dang it! Oh, why did I go for that? I should have just went for beating the level, man. I got greedy. Okay. Not at the skill proficiency to do that yet. But no, so... yeah, I was the RA, lived in a new building, didn't get to choose my roommates. And they were also just kind of dirty, right? And it I just didn't want to interact with them. I was dating at the time, and I'm constantly trying to better myself now, especially I recently went through a streak of making very, very bad, poor decisions that hurt people I care about, and I've had to live with the ramifications of that, right? And I'm trying to be better coming out of that. But I've always been really bad at relationships, right? Of kind of overcommitting, pouring all of my energy really into the relationship, right from the get-go, which imbalances other aspects of my life, right? I stop, that's unfortunate, paying as much attention to my friends, other people close to me. And it can create a unstable dynamic, right? Because I'm doing all of this, and so subconsciously it's I'm putting in all this effort. Why isn't this other person putting in the same effort, even though it's from the jump, right? And so we're still feeling each other out, whatever. So that's one of the things with me one of the reasons I'm bad, because that can breed resentment, right? It's I have put these undue expectations on this other person. I haven't communicated that I have these crazy expectations, right? And so, that's not fair to anybody, right? Because I've set these expectations, it's not fair to myself because I'm hurting, right? Emotions are fickle things. You just control how you react to them. You don't control how you have them. So, because I've set these expectations, it hurts me when they're not met, even if they're unfair, right? And then it also hurts that person because, one, they have these expectations. Even if I did communicate them, they're probably unreasonable to a degree, right? And then on top of that, if I'm not communicating them, I'm going to be acting hurt or resentful or whatever because of some expectations they have no way that they could know, or that haven't been communicated. So anyways, not to talk about my love life, but yeah, I've been in a lot of relationships in my life, but I don't know that I've ever been in a good one. But I was in a relationship for my RA year, and I slept at her place, which was also on campus, basically every night. I got put on probation as an RA because I was in my girlfriend's building while on phone duty. Which, granted, I had done this several times, and I could always make it to my area. If there was a phone call, I'd rush out of where I was sleeping and get down there as fast as possible. But I think one time there was, a faculty member spotted me coming out of the building and knew I was on duty, that I had the phone for my section of campus. I got put on probation for that. So yeah, no. And making kind of dumb choices, stupid choices. But then also, it just wasn't a great environment. No foul on my roommate. He was a pescatarian, and he talked about how red meat and stuff like that made him nauseous. I'm a big red meat guy, so I didn't feel like I could eat there, the foods I wanted to eat. And he was always cooking. He made a lot of his meals, right? Because you couldn't, as pescatarian, it was hard to, he's eating a lot of fish, whatever, right? So he was cooking a lot. So I didn't really want to be out there. And then my other roommate, because where I was staying when I was an RA, there were only 3 people to a dorm in this building instead of 4. So it was just me, the pescatarian, and then the other guy. And the other guy, he was kind of dirty. He seemed like a fine guy, but I had to clean up his grossness. He also failed the health and safety checks, which are at our school very lax. It's very difficult to fail those. And at this point, both years that I've attended college, I've had a roommate fail. So, and he wasn't, I guess it's fine. He had long hair, so his hair got everywhere. What? I'm so sorry that I misjumped. That I will never be able to do that again. All right. Okay, well, that's not fair to say never. Oh, man, I missed a coin opportunity. Yeah, I didn't even get a coin out of that. But the fact that I lived through that is insane. Holy crap. No! Oh, that was almost an attempt 1. Or a first attempt, whatever. Golly, what? Yeah, I don't even know where that was. That happened just now. That was insane. What? I'm trying to be on the lookout for it again. Oh, we have lag again. Oh, wow, I really can't see with all the screen tearing. Okay. Oh, I gotta play with one eye closed. That's what I'm talking about. Your vision, it should not hurt this bad to see. So there's definitely just something weird with me. It's interesting that the screen tearing, right? When this happens, if I die, I'm pretty sure it'll be fixed. Now, granted, I've never lived this long. Oh. Is it fixed? I can't tell. It's so difficult to look at. Let me see if graphics fix. It's gonna give me. Oh, it didn't give me. Okay. Well, it seems smoother now. Last time I did the fix, it popped up the toolbar, the taskbar at the bottom of the screen. I didn't want to play with that, so I turned that off. But okay, screen tearing seems fixed. Anyways, so he like wasn't considerate with his mess. He like clogged up drains and stuff. Anyways, and he never cleaned his bathroom. It's not important, right? He was a dirty guy. So it was just, I really don't like that like mess. It makes me uncomfortable, and that kind of pushed me even further to the like sleep with my girlfriend all the time. As in like sleeping in the same place, not the other thing. And so. Oh, there's something. Oh, that was the portal that would have led me back had I done the cool falling thing again. Yeah, and then I had some falling out with family. Like I said, I unfortunately during the summer I made some really bad choices, and again I hurt a lot of the people close to me. And complete falling out with I've never had a lot of family, but the little bit of family I did, unfortunately I lost a lot of that. So I had a falling out with them, and I had to stay with a buddy of mine. I lived on his couch for a little bit. And rushed, right? I was every day because I already knew how much I was imposing, like being there. Because also, I was staying with him and he lives on campus. So it was breaking his contract to have me there, right? Like he could have gotten in trouble from keeping me there. So I was like, I cannot stay here any longer than I have to. Oh, I did the thing again. Panic jump. So I ended up, quickly as I could, I found where I am now. It's a good spot. There were opportunities to save money on rent that I missed out on because of my rush. But I still think it was the right choice. It's something that, once this lease is about to expire, I can reevaluate. But okay, that time I heard the click. I think I just clicked while I was in the air. Like I think I definitely thought I clicked there, but mayhaps not. Obviously not. Given that I died, I must not have. Regardless of what I think. So yeah, that is kind of, and yeah, then of course now I've been staying here since then, and again, did not deserve to live through that, but cool, glad I did. Obviously, I appreciate surviving. Hold on. This is the wrong level. Isn't it? I think I may have beaten this level on my phone recently. Because I did play Geometry Dash a little bit on my phone recently. And I remember I just got like major deja vu for the section where the music does that. And then I've definitely gotten that coin. And goes to the black with the green. Yeah, I think I recently... Gosh darn it! I keep doing that. I think I recently beat this level on my phone. So, I don't know how I didn't notice until now. Sorry, I was trying to look down at my phone to prove a point. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Oh, okay. Yep. Doubling. Okay. What's this? What is this? Back base after base. Oh, I think I got to 80% is what I got to. Okay, let me log back in. So that means we need to be locked in. We need to win this on the computer, so I'm better than phone version of me, right? Phone geometry. Yeah. computer superiority, PC master race, right? Yeah, because I got that coin too. Like I think, figured out how to get that coin on my phone. Maybe, I don't know. Try to go for the easy coins. Again, I don't have enough confidence in myself to go for a non-easy coin. Yeah, I remember the black with green spikes into... Man, okay, I'm not gonna lie, and this might be affecting my performance. Obviously, gotta make as many excuses as possible. I do need to use the restroom. And I'm thinking about that a lot, like when you try not to think about waterfalls. So that might be a circumstance where that's what's going on. That is distracting me. I'm talking, playing, and then also thinking about my my bladder. To be crass about it for a moment. Really interesting, right? Because I don't there's not like viewership or anything on my YouTube channel, really, right? I don't do any of the things that you need to do in order to be a proper YouTuber, but like I enjoy the concept of things being made by me existing on the internet, right? Even without having a following. But it creates this really interesting dynamic because I'm good at talking to myself, I guess. But I'm very hit or miss with people. There are some people, and I don't know if it's a conversational skills thing, like they just have better conversational skills than I do, and so I'm able to I sense that, and it just makes it easier because they're kind of leading. But there's some people dummy easy for me to talk to. Dummy easy. And other people, I feel like I'm just dredging through the mud trying to figure out how to talk to them. And I don't know what it is. It feels random. I'm sure it's not random, but it feels random. But anyways, in this isolation, I'm talking about stuff, right? It's not necessarily important. I don't know. It's kind of therapeutic in a way, to be able to just talk in the essence of talking to somebody who's listening, right? I guess I can listen to myself. And I'm able to do it without there actually, I guess, being another person there, right? I was just thinking about that because I was talking about this stuff. Obviously, there's some aspects of things I'm not talking about, or I'm trying to keep private to some degree. But I'm also me, so I know what those private details are. So it's just interesting reliving some of these experiences. And now I'm at a loss for words. It's because I'm still thinking about going to the bathroom. It's really unfortunate because, truth be told, and I have this and I don't know what it is, right? I don't know what it is, but my best buddy, my best friend, and that this pushes me to be better and it helps me a lot. I really struggle to talk to him. He's one of the people that it feels like dredging through the mud to chat with. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a negative experience to talk to him at all. I love hanging out with him. It's fabulous. It's great. Fabulous. Okay. Don't know why I use that word. It's fabulous. But for whatever, again, it's this on or off thing. And I think it helps my conversational skills, right? Having the opportunities to practice and hanging out with them. But it's just so interesting because since day one. And even still, having known each other for basically 3 years at this point, having hung out for 3 years, I still, I struggle to have, and okay, I've been failing at that part for a really long time now. It's getting a little old, Michael. I really struggle. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's ever going to come a day where it just it clicks off, right? Where it's boom, easy. Because I guess it's the thing of, I know that I can talk. I know I can hold a conversation. I'm holding a conversation with myself right now. Right? I have no issue with that. It feels natural. Right? You just kind of say whatever. You have general ideas of what you want to talk about. And obviously in a conversation, it's a lot more call and response, right? Everyone needs their time with the speaking conch. Is that what it was called in Lord of the Flies? I don't know. Doesn't matter. And it's important to be able to branch off from topics, right? Don't feel glued down to what you're talking about, because, you know, it can break the rhythm of the conversation if you try to force certain topics, right? There has to be some natural flow, which means sometimes you're going to want to have said something and you won't have the opportunity to say it before the conversation changes to topics. That's fine, right? There will be more conversations. There will be more times if that really, there was a little lag right there. We like skipped some frames for a second. And if it is genuinely super important or super interesting, you will find a way for it naturally to come back up. If it's lost and never comes back up, that's okay. It was not that interesting then. Like, it wasn't that important, right? And it's just as simple as that. If something's genuinely important, it will come back up. Okay, well, that was silly of me. I know how to not die to those. The problem is that, you know, the game just starts, right? So I can't. If I pause, it's gonna feel awkward. But I am starting to get, like, it's starting to burn a little bit. You know, it's not just like the holding pain, but it's a bit of the burning pain. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go to the restroom. Bathroom has been accomplished. All right, I made a lot of bold promises that's what was holding me back. So I guess I gotta really try on this one. But no, my best friend is a great guy, and, you know, I want him in my life for as long as he will have me. I want to be in his life for as long as he'll have me. I don't know how to phrase that properly. So, you know, I really got to kick this thing, because it can be stressful sometimes going into it. I know it's worthless anxieties, right? I feel like our friendship is stronger than one bad interaction. But when you know you struggle to talk to somebody, you know, people remember negative experiences more than they remember positive experiences. So there's always like the nagging, like, I gotta figure out how to carry a conversation. No, like, I have the confidence to know that I can, because I worry about it, right? I want to be someone that he can talk to, and to be able to be someone that someone can talk to, you have to be able to talk to the person. And I don't want you to think that, like, we don't talk, like we get together and just sit in silence, but it's a very active process for me. Like I'm wow, I think I somehow got worse. What am I doing? Okay. I have to actively work at the conversation, right? It doesn't, like, in the sense that this is sort of free flowing, and maybe it's incredibly boring, right? Maybe the stuff I'm talking about is nonsense, right? And, you know, I'm just reading facial cues with some people, and they also think that what I'm saying is nonsense, and I get insecure about it. Maybe that's it. But like, this is free flow, which I think is why I'm able to play Geometry Dash to some degree while saying this, because I'm not spending a lot of active effort to focus on the conversation that I'm having with myself. But with some people, I have to do that, like, mental, and it can be it's the unfortunate thing of, like, again, love hanging out with my buddy, but I sometimes, like, it can be difficult because it can be like, it can drain energy, because I have all these, like, concerns and worries, and that's not on him at all. Like, that's fully on me, you know. But yeah, no, I have, because I'm trying to, like, be able to hold the conversation, which also means I don't think I could ever do blind dating, right? I've only ever dated people that I've known for some period of time, even if it was like a short period of time before we started dating. Like, I met them. I've only ever dated people I've met in person. I don't know if I could date someone I, like, met online, because trying to initiate a conversation, I don't think I know whether or not there's the spark yet. Like, the spark of, can I talk to this person? And it's got to stem from, like, I've always been a shy person, right? I think my environmental circumstance led me to want to behave more extroverted, right? And I don't like using the like tribalism terms that often, right? I always feel weird about it because no one's like 100% anything, right? But to act more outgoing and, you know, like a people person because of doing theater and a lot of like activity. Just need a second. Doing a lot of activities that require being outgoing, I think that led me to desire being outgoing. Yeah, I did something wrong. I don't know how to articulate it, but I know in my head what I did wrong, so I won't do it again. Hopefully. I jumped too deep into the ore. Hello? Oh, it's Grayson. Hold on. Kind of freaked me out, buddy.
Oh, stop. Are you hungry?
Are you guys getting something to eat?
Yeah.
Yes, I want some PTSD. Talking about?
Were you on the phone? Like, did we just interrupt?
No.
Oh, okay. I heard you talking as like he was about to knock. I was like, hang on. I couldn't tell
No,
what you were doing.
you're good. You're good. You're
Okay.
good. Hold on. Are you guys cold?
Yeah.
No.
Well, that was an interesting little side quest I just went on. Let me lock the door and put this back in front of me because I had accidentally taken it off. The man that I was just talking about was over here. He came over here with his girlfriend and nephew, and we went and we got steak and shake, and it was fun. It was good. It's always easier in groups, like all social interactions are, right? I feel like. So no, that was a blast. It was good. I think I was in a good mood too, because I've been doing this. So it kind of got me some energy. But yeah, no. So I'll probably, because it's been at least an hour since I paused the recording when they knocked at the door and kind of spooked me a little bit. So I've locked out of flow state, as it were. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. We had steak and shake. There was like a weird guy. He seemed a little out of it. Unfortunately, but I used to work at Steak and Shake way back in the day, when I was in high school. I believe it may have just been my junior year, but I believe it was like my sophomore and junior year, some mix of them. But it may have just been junior. Now that I think about it. So it was fun talking about that. That ended up coming up in conversation. That same jump keeps getting me. Okay. Didn't like that little frame skip we got for a second there. But no, so that was a lot of fun. And then they came over and we just kind of hung out for a bit. My buddy and I, we have a Minecraft server, so I was showing him some of the building I'd done since last time we played together. And then like I recently, I say recently, also looked away from the screen, which is diabolical. Should not be doing that. I started touching my mic instead of focusing on the game. Get away with too much. I got watermelon a couple weeks back, and I decided to... What I thought about actually doing is you can take watermelon, cut it up, freeze it, and then take that, get a food processor or like a Vitamix or smoothie maker or whatever. Because sworn I clicked, but I think it clicked a little bit too late. Get a Vitamix watermelon that's been frozen, no rind, and some like honey. You put the frozen watermelon and the honey in Vitamix and the smoothie maker or whatever. You mix that up. I'm not sure what the power is. I just saw this like passing in a video, right? I've yet to do it myself, so I can't attest to its quality. But it makes kind of a watermelon sorbet, right? Like really easy, not too bad for you, right? Because it's fruit. It's basically just fructose all the way around, which is still sugar. Don't get me wrong, like sugar is bad for you, but I guess there's less additives, right? You know what you're getting. It's unhealthy because it's a bunch of sugar. It's not unhealthy because it's a bunch of sugar and, you know, chemical X and chemical Y, right? Anyways, so that's something you can do with ice cream. And I was kind of thinking about that, but I didn't end up doing it. I not quite cubed, but I cut my watermelon into, dang it. It's the same spot I died at last time too. Or like last proper run where I made some distance and then died at a spike really early on. But, what was I just saying? I was talking about the watermelon. Losing a couple frames there too. Got 150 FPS until I don't. No. So yeah, I cut it into little rectangles with the rind basically for a handhold. So obviously, I mean, outside of cutting it while it's cold, which would be a lot harder, I assume, because it's so hard to like chew onto. I can't say with absolute certainty it'd be harder to cut with a knife, but I feel like it would be harder to cut with a knife while all those like water particles and everything are like frozen. But yeah, no, I basically made like watermelon popsicles. Now some people like coat them in sugar or like do a little honey glaze or something. I'm not like the biggest sweet guy, so I just stuck them directly in the freezer, and I've been having those occasionally. It's really good. You know, it has water in it, so it's... I've got to stop doing that. I made good progress, right? Didn't I? Yeah, I made it to 96%. So I'm flubbing on something so basic right now. I can get my head back in the game. Lock back in, right? Because it's not an insignificant amount of... That's the unfortunate thing, dying so far in the level with the whole... I don't know exactly what the term would be coined. I know it's a part of like Halo Lasso, right? And then a backroom game that I play with my buddy has purgatory mode that does this, where when you die you restart from the very beginning. There's no checkpoints or anything, right? Geometry Dash being designed like that, right? You always start from the beginning unless you're in practice mode. So in typical gameplay, there's you have to go start to finish. I don't know what the if there's a colloquialism for that. But okay, let me focus a bit more on this section. Okay, there we go. Now I know I also got screwed over on something basic over here, so I might want to lock in more. But I also... No! No! That's what I'm talking about! I don't know if that came over the recording, but I just lagged. Like, I got a frame skip right before the spike. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so disappointing, because it's the same 3 spikes that killed us last time, I think. The last time we made it there. So, like, that far into the level. It's just very disappointing, right? But I was able to just now focus up and not make the silly mistake with the jumping too much. So I might want to repeat that sort of pattern of locking in a little bit at that section rather than just chatting the whole time. Which, I mean, to be fair, I was talking about the watermelon popsicles. But yeah, they're really good. I like Grayson. Started saying names I've been avoiding this whole time, and I now say the name. Anyways, yeah. I let some of when they were over, I let them have some of those. Okay, there we go. Epic. Boom, boom, boom. Awesome. See, now that I'm back playing again, I kind of want to play the next level, right? Like, I don't want to just go to bed. I want to play the next level. Now I'm kind of back in my groove. Oh, that was good. That was good. Epic. Can't let go. Okay. yet. I don't believe I've ever made it far into this level. I have tried it, as previously stated earlier. You know, I tried all of the... Oh, okay, so the middle one's the one you need to click. Right, okay. I wasn't sure. Oh, I just remembered the, like, cool little secret area I discovered that I still don't remember how to get to from the previous level. Oh, too early. Okay. Third time's the charm, right? This is attempt 3? I don't know. But I did the bottom one, I did the top one. I feel like it's time for, like, I'll get the middle one this... Next time I make it to that section, I'll get the middle one. Probably. But no, it's so cool to see that Geometry Dash still has a thriving community, right? Like, I messed around with the daily levels, and the things people have done, graphically very impressive. Unfortunately for me, that was too early of jump. Like, I survived, but still too early. Whew, epic. Okay, I need to, like, jump early for that one, or maybe fall off. I'm not fully certain what the go about for that is. I know the levels stop doing it at some point, but you know, I know the early levels kind of introduce you to some, like, one concept basically at a time. Okay, yeah, you just fall. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. The graphical transition threw me off a little bit. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Especially when I was talking about my eyes kind of hurting earlier, even with, like, these basic graphics. Which is the motion, I guess. Some of the levels, I mean, they're so cool, they're so impressive what people have done with all these crazy transitions and shaders and sprites that they're messing around with. But a little bit of lag spike there. Okay, unfortunate. Again, I feel like my game should never be lagging. Like, it has no excuse to be lagging. So maybe there's some tweaking I need to do on my side in order to remedy that. Remedy that. Yeah. Maybe I should look into that. Because I also don't, like, have any lag on my phone when I play phone Geometry Dash, right? This is really cool. Oh, I thought I was gonna get scammed. Like I did last time. Okay, we're in a ship section. I'm sure they're gonna introduce the other game modes soon, right? Because this is so far just been a repeat of... Oh no! Okay. I was gonna say this level so far has been a repeat of mechanics. Now, it's teaching you that the orbs from the previous mission, like, aren't always good, or it does in one part, so I guess I can't say that's the whole point of the level. But I'm curious if it's going to introduce a new concept. I really don't like the camera panning. That's part of the difficulty, is the speed. Okay, I clicked, but I guess I clicked too late. Is the speed of the camera panning, right? Of how much reaction time you have, because this, you know, there is an amount of reaction time to this game, especially when you're... I mean, I'm not going for first trying, right? I couldn't. But if you're, like, first trying a level, you can't just have memorized, like, okay, when I get to this part, do this jump, right? You're having to react as it happens in real time. So that, especially in that case, reaction time is a big factor. I was gonna say, yeah, this is where I messed up last time. I mean, obviously a little ahead of here, but in this... Oh no, I was in this segment. No, it was past this segment. See, my memory's already a little lapsed. I am always relying on reaction time because I'm not actually learning the layout of anything. Ah, yes. Ah, man. That's a tighter jump than I'm thinking it is. And that's what keeps screwing me over. Because I need to wait more. Part of it is, and this is obviously intentional, you know, I'm a bit more comfortable with the upside down screen, right? So I'm trying to play safer, which unfortunately, oh, it's cracking my neck, or trying to. Fortunately, safer in my case doesn't really work out. Or you need to play right, not safe, because you can make the argument that, you know, spam clicking is safe, right? And that's not the case. Or panic clicking or whatever, right? Trying to be more cautious can lead to some poor plays. Is the refinement of what I'm trying to say. Didn't like that little lag spike. It's unfortunate, like, how often it happens. Because I'm not playing with consistent latency or anything, but I can't really predict when it's going to be latent, right? When there's going to be some frame skips or frame jumping, whatever. Oh! Oh! What? Okay, I don't know if I did that right. Right, because we've already seen I've gotten away with some, like, sketchy jumps. Where it's definitely not the intended route. Or, like, moment. But because I feel like I panic jumped a little bit there, and it worked out longer. Like I skipped a pad or a orb or ring, I guess they're called. So yeah, these are definitely getting more intense. Maybe this is just like a speed, or just this level may not have it clicked, but too late, I guess. Say I guess, just to I guess. I guess. Wow, how many times can I say that word? I'm assuming the reason I keep saying that is because of the fact that it puts some uncertainty into why I lost. Maybe it makes me feel better. Right, because there is no I guess, right? I died, so the only possible case is that it's my fault, right? That I didn't click, or that I clicked too late, right? But I think by me saying I guess, I'm leaving the room for it to have been something with the game, right? Not taking full responsibility for the failure, which is probably an ego thing, right? You know, not like a spooky. Very spooky. Oh, I feel like I'm behind. Okay, no, we're chilling. We're fine. We're fine. This is fine. We're getting to the section. No, we're not. I keep thinking that... I keep forgetting about this flying section. It's bad, because this is where the coin is, and if I just remembered about the flying section, I would have a coin going into the rest of this level. That's the upside down section. Okay. I need to fall into that orb. Same way as when we were playing Right Ways in the... around, I'm assuming the quarter mark. I actually don't know how far I got into the level. I was not paying attention to the progress bar, so I missed that. And, you know, it's really interesting, right, with the way I'm treating this, basically unedited. Because I don't know what I would edit, even, like in something like this, in a video like this, or, you know, I just posted the Stronghold video, right? Which is just me playing Stronghold for apparently 25 minutes. Or Crusaders, to be specific, right? But, you know, I mean, outside of maybe, like, speeding things up, and so many YouTubers, I guess, or at least I don't watch a lot of the YouTubers playing just video games anymore. I feel like when I do, like I've watched Frost Prime play. Yeah, that was bad. I can tell that was bad. Play Slay the Spire, but he's like a streamer first, right? And then he just uploads the videos, like the stream video, to YouTube. So that sort of content makes sense, but he's just playing a game. I feel like, or at least a lot of what comes up, right? You know, for the most part, I'm driven by my feed more than I'm driven by specifically searching stuff out. Right? If I've gained like a new interest in like a video game, I might like look up tips and tricks, or like that ends up happening. Okay, I've lost my flow state. Anyways, you know, a lot of content creators I used to really respect, and it's not, well, I still respect, right? They're still great, wonderful people. I've just outgrown the content. But also it's been like infantilized a little bit, I feel like. You know, I used to be a big Preston Plays guy. I used to be a big Sunday guy. And they're still making content. They're still playing games, but it's not, you know, they're not just, it's very oversaturated, like quick gratification, right? So there's big edits there, you know, sound effects, zooming, that kind of stuff, right? To very attention grabbing, which works for like a young audience, right? Or people that are just into that. It's completely a preference thing. So no, that's completely on me. I mean, all of this is on me, but that's embarrassing, I guess, is a better thing to say. So it's just interesting to think about like this, right? This is almost the like streamer kind of content, where, because I'm not trying to appeal to, again, this is mostly for myself, right? Like, it's cool the idea of other people in the world that I don't necessarily know getting to engage with them, people I would never know otherwise, because of something that I made, right? Even if it's as simple as just, you know, something I would do by myself, right? Playing a video game and then just happening to record it. Like, I think that's cool. But yeah, so it's not like trying to appeal to a specific audience. And why do oh my gosh, I'm so stressed about that section. I'm throwing myself off. So, because I mean, I have, it clicked off onto a different screen. That was weird. Like, I have video editing software. I mean, I don't have like DaVinci or anything. I have Filmora, which I got as a birthday gift years ago, but I still have it because I got it back before it was like a subscription-based thing. I think I'm actually subscribed to the subscription-based service now, but yeah, I paid for it was paid for the, crap, I need to not mess with my hair instead of playing the game. The game's not going anywhere, though. Wow, yeah. Pay for the lifetime as like a birthday present back in the day. Back before everything being a leased software, right? Before the leased software epidemic. Where everything became a subscription. And, you know, so there's some legacy carryover of that, but not entirely. I mean, I used to have, oh gosh, it was, people use it for, like, doing manga. I think it was, like, Clip Studio or something like that. Drawing program I got with my Wacom tablet. And that was, like, a lifetime thing. But that got basically completely phased out for they're on a subscription service, at least last I checked or something like that. So I just lost access to that software. It was really unfortunate. I really enjoyed like making stuff in that program. Gosh darn it. I keep jumping even though I know not to jump. Very disappointed in myself. It's always some unfortunate, but I mean, I don't do that as a career or even like really, it was just like the occasional hobby to go in there and mess around and draw stuff. It was more goofing around than even like a hobby. So I'm not too upset about losing access to that, right? If it were my career, I would be paying for it. It would be different because I would just suck it up and spend the money on it. But no, so yeah, I have like decent video editing software and I'm paying for some of the additional features on it. So not editing videos and content is a waste of my money, right? But again, in this kind of video where I'm basically doing podcast plus video game in background, right? Like I'm just talking. There we go. Ugh. Okay. Gotta use the orb, man. Gotta use the orb. That was some coyote time right there. And definitely. Okay. Good job, Michael. Yeah. So it's just weird, I guess. Like I feel like I should be editing my videos, but I also feel like I don't have anything to say in like the whole like art form, like in the art medium, I guess, if that makes any sense, right? You know, there's nothing directly I would add to the video. There's not like oh yeah, this section really needs this, because I mean this is all just kind of honest. Not to imply that other people are being it's not honest, it's indecisive. No. It's just, this is something that, like, I guess this appeals to the people that want to hear noise while they, like, go to sleep. Right? Some white noise. You have something shiny on your screen. You have somebody talking. Which, to be fair, I love content like that. Right? If I throw on long videos all the time that I don't, like, I kind of want to watch. I'm subconsciously watching them, but it's really just occupying, I guess, a section of my brain while I do something else. I'm not sure why that specific kind of thing is so appealing, but it's definitely the streamer, like a stream turn video style is what that is, right? Because I mean, streamers they can't, you know, edit things live really. I mean, you can do effects live, but you can't, or I don't know of a proper way to like edit the content, right? I could cut out a part of the video on a stream. Anyways, I like it. I like it. It's good. It's good for me, but it feels wasteful. Like I feel like I should be editing, I guess, is the dang it. That I know for a fact I clicked too late. Like I felt my brain be like, okay, you gotta click, and then my index finger, right, do it way after I passed the platform. So now that's probably just the fatigue. You know, it is tomorrow now. Like it's past midnight. So this needs to be my last level probably, because as I get tired, it's going to be harder and harder for me to have the reaction time really required. I've always noticed I'm bad at Geometry Dash late at night. I've always been bad at Geometry Dash, but I'm like a little extra bad, right? Ooh. No. Okay. No! Why did I do that? That's really unfortunate. I can't die in the easy parts because I'm gonna die in the hard parts. So like, come on. I don't want to have to redo the easy parts. No, that's the unfortunate. Like, it's no big. And I think this is why I like level hopping to like the very end levels of the game, because they're so difficult, right? That I'm dying in the first 10%, or I was, right? You know, when I used to do that. I mean, I did do that for Dash and like maybe Finger Dash. I may have messed around with those two again. Yeah, going to those last levels, because you know, it's the getting back to it that really like sucks, right? Like having to replay this just to get back to the part, because you know you don't get any practice on the part that actually is difficult, right? That like actually killed you, so you make it all the way back. Like just now, I'm getting to practice. What? Okay. I don't know if I can remember what I did. What I did is definitely easier, I think. Because I kind of freaked out with all the new stimuli, like right then, right, and at the last second. Oh, nope, that was bad. Okay, insane how I keep making mistakes and ending up in cool places. I say keep, it's happened twice, but nickels and such, right? Yeah, man. I also feel like I feel like using I feel statements, guys. Come on. You know, okay. Wow. Way back in the day. And I'm looking to get back into it, right? I'm looking at therapists in Huntsville. Because I have issues, you know? And friends are good, right? Friends are incredible, supportive, but you can't load all your problems on your friends. That's not healthy. And the healthy thing for them at some point becomes to cut you out of their life. Like, you cannot give your people carry so many burdens with them every day. You can give some of your burdens, right? Like, you want to be there for your friends, but you cannot give all of your burdens to another human being, because that's parasitic, right? And so that's the thing with like therapists, right? Is they get paid for it, right? They get paid to interact with people's problems. So, you know, I have some things I need to work through, right? Hurt a lot of people. I don't want to hurt people. I have no desire. I've been hurt a lot in the past, and it's very easy when you've been hurt to fall into those cycles. I mean, they basically drill that into you when you're a kid, right? It's like bullies only bully because they're bullied, right? And so, you know, I'm looking for that again. But way back in the day, I had a therapist. That sucks. Way back in the day, I had a therapist back when I had, oh gosh, I think it was post, for like 8th grade, I basically didn't do school. I was getting into juvenile delinquentism in middle school back in 7th grade, and I got pulled out to go back to homeschool in 8th grade, and I didn't do the schoolwork. Like, we use basically a software for homeschooling, because in my family, the kids all of us had been homeschooled up to some portion of our life. I bounced back and forth a lot. The youngest. Anyways, so we were putting me back in homeschooling, but it was software. The family dynamics had changed. It was just me and my estranged mother. Now estranged, not estranged then. That would have been. It's hard to be estranged from someone you live with. Hard, not impossible. Just, you know, forewarning. But the dynamic there was in definitely a rough spot at that point. It had always been bad, hence why we are estranged by my choice. Our family has had a lot of cutting off of people, you know. And I don't know, we might be a little too hasty. Well, okay, no. I don't think we're too hasty to cut people off. Like, I feel like even with the cutting me off, everything has had like proper justification. It's just there's been a lot of it specifically in our family, so it's funny, I guess, or it's not ironic. It's just peculiar. It's just an interesting coinkydink, right? And so, anyways, dynamic was strained, and so to say that there wasn't really parenting going on at that point would be accurate. So, man, I need to stop failing on the ship part. Like, that's like a breather for this level before the hard part, and I keep failing in the breather. So that's really on me. But no, so basically I just lied about what I did. Actually, I can tell you exactly what I did. So it was SOS student, or it was schoolhouse. It was SOS. I remember was the acronym for it, but it was some like schoolhouse something something. A good program, like the material from what I recall of it when I was actually learning it. Like it is good, and it's something that I would consider if I were going to homeschool my children, right? Like it has. It's older software now. I don't know if they still make it, but now, whoops. It had like games for learning, that, you know, and it really was mostly just like the learning. It was multiple choice questions and true or false statements, basically, the games were, but they were like tied to graphics. So you had like a hockey game, for instance, where you're going down and you can go like faster or slower, but then a question would pop up and you have to go through a gate that's like, there's two gates, true or false, and you have to go through the right one. And then there was one where you're like driving a spaceship, but then you have to refuel the spaceship or something, and there's like different portals to go through. But, you know, looking at it now with mature eyes, it really was just basically like true or false or like multiple choice games. But it had enough variety and like grab your attention and everything that it was good. They were all a load of fun. Oh man, I jumped. Okay. Anyways, so I think if the software works for your kid, I think it's good. I've never really done well with the and again, this speaks to my character, right? Needing to be improved. I've never done well with the like self responsibility, right? Keeping yourself accountable. Okay, I can keep myself accountable in something. Okay, but no, I don't need to beat around the bush. I've struggled with accountability, 100%. In some areas, I think I try to make up for that by trying to be extra accountable, right? Like if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I try to make that like a strong standpoint of my life. But I have accountability issues, right? And I want to work on that. And I think me trying very consciously to be, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, that's embarrassing, is to, you know, help build that accountability that might struggle in other areas. So I really struggled with the school when it went to online. Because originally when I was a kid, when we were doing homeschooling, when you're really young, you know, before I knew how to use a computer, right? We're going with books, and it was, you know, my mother at the time. I'll just say, I don't need to be weirdly peculiar about it. My mother, you know, she would go through them with me and like read the questions and everything, you know, because I'm still learning how to read. Or whatever, so it was on books. And so that was like a group thing. There was someone there keeping me accountable for it. Yeah, I realized that was dumb as I did it. But then third grade, we moved to computer schooling. That's when everything kind of started falling apart for me. I only did half of third grade, and then I just kind of stopped doing it. That's why I went into public school. We got for fourth grade, but I was just sick all the time, and so like it was really bad that. So I ended up getting put back in homeschooling again. Didn't do the schoolwork. Basically, every time I was put in homeschooling since I moved onto a computer, I didn't do the schoolwork. But what happened in eighth grade is at some point, and I don't recall for what reason. It may have been because I was playing video games instead of doing schoolwork or something, but a keylogger had been put on my computer. And so I learned what a keylogger was. Wow. So 8th grade comes around, right? I got pulled out of school because I was getting in trouble all the time, being a juvenile delinquent. And okay, that was another situation where I messed up and then I still got away with it. For a second, which really threw me off. So anyways, I downloaded the same keylogger that I remembered having been installed on my computer like way back when. It was obviously no longer there, and set it up because of our living situation. Previously, we had several computers, but now the school software, both the student version, right, which I accessed, and the teacher version, which my mother would have to access to check my grades and everything, were on my laptop, right? So that means my laptop would have to be accessed to access the teacher mode. So I installed the keylogger onto the laptop, and I logged my mother checking to make sure I was doing school or whatever, right? And so I got the passcode and the login information to the teacher version. And from that point, I didn't do school. And that was basically pretty immediately. I had the idea to do it. So I did not do 8th grade. And so the problem is it's a very nuanced topic. I can say it's very nuanced. It's hard to describe when I try to tell other people, and I'm probably overcomplicating it, but you know, from an education standpoint, I have incredible gaps in my knowledge because I did not do 3rd grade. Like halfway through 3rd grade, I figured out that my mother or whatever wasn't checking it often enough, and just, you know, assuming we were doing our work or whatever. So I wasn't doing my schoolwork halfway through 3rd grade. So I didn't learn any of that material, right? And when we went to public school, I would just have to pass a test to get in. But those weren't comprehensive, and you didn't have to. The bar of entry, I believe, was pretty small. The barrier of entry. But yeah, so I tested into the 4th grade. To like prove, and I had to test in every time I transitioned from homeschool to public school. To prove that I could go into the grade that I said I wanted to go into, right? Oh, man. Okay. So I tested into 4th grade. I did learn 4th grade, but then I didn't do 5th grade. I didn't learn anything you learned in 5th grade. That was one. I didn't have the grades or anything, but again, because of circumstances at the time, Deborah basically just never checked the grades. Said her legal name. Whoopsies. And I called attention to it. My mother didn't check the grades. It's because when everything happened, there were some court proceedings, and I had to file some things against her. I stopped thinking of her as my mom, and so, but for like privacy, it's weird to say my ex-mom every time I'm trying to talk to her. But so I typically just say her name if I'm referring to her. So that's why I'm having to make the conscious effort to say mom or my mother, right? So yeah, somehow through 5th grade and then into 6th grade, I managed to. I think what it was is you could like request a grade change, and it would make a question not count on like towards the grade of an assignment, basically. And so 5th and like half of 6th grade, I was doing that, where I was basically making it so I would get one question. I would make one question right. I would know how to get that answer right. And then I would just do the like request answer change or whatever it was, request help. And so it would count as done, and it would like send a notification to the teacher account. But at this point, my mother wasn't really checking that. She would just be like, "Are you done with your assignments?" And I would show her basically the task dashboard that you have as a student, where you can see if like you have assignments due to that day, right? Like a red exclamation mark next to an assignment means it's overdue, like it was due the previous day and you didn't do it. Dang it. I wanted to lock in because I got to the part where I kind of needed to lock in. Anyways. And then if it was like a gold star next to the assignment, it meant it was due that day, right? Again, really good system. Like I think it's good if your kid is able to keep themselves accountable, or which I think kids shouldn't have a certain amount of, like there's an amount of parentification that's happening if kids are too accountable, just from like a brain development standpoint. But if your kids are good just naturally with accountability and you're willing to put in, my mother didn't like, by the time she had me, because you know she told me these things, right, of like she having me made her want to kill herself, and like she hated me basically, and passed me off to my sister to raise me for the first few years, and then eventually my sister moved out, so I didn't really have anyone raising me. So anyways, right, so if you have like a parent, or you are a parent that's attentive and like willing to put in some amount of effort, not just have the computer completely do it, I think it's a very good system. That was not the part where I needed to do the thing where it just magically worked. Thought it was. But anyways, yeah, so I would just show my mother that my assignments were done on the student one, because she didn't want to like bother with signing on to the teacher version. I would just show her the assignments were done. So that's how I bullcrapped my way through 5th and half of 6th grade before I went back into public school. And to go into public school, at least for like the latter half of 6th grade, and it may have been 4th grade too, it was like my choice. Deborah and I had talked about, my mother and I had talked about it, and like a lot, and I was aware that it wasn't good for me. Like I kind of coming clean of like, I'm not doing the school, I'm not doing the schoolwork, right? So that's why I kept going back to public school, because then I had the accountability of like my teachers and everything. Oh man, that just puts you in such an awkward spot. Okay. Have like a dry throat or something. Whew, that was spooky. So yeah, that's how I bullcrap my way through 5th and 6th, and then through 8th grade, right, is when I just got the password to the thing and just logged in and made sure that, right, because the problem was, if you ever logged into the teacher version, and this is, I think, is how I got found out in 6th grade, right, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I got found out, and then we had to talk about like, okay, do you need to just do public school? And I was like, yes. I got found out. And then, so in 8th grade, I was like, it's only going to work so much. And so I just made myself have the correction. She wasn't checking the assignments or anything. She was just making sure there was no overdue, and I wasn't doing the same sketchy thing I pulled off last time, right, in 8th grade. But all that was to say, juvenile delinquentism, when I left that, I think we talked about therapy as far back as 6th grade. I think my mother, about when the divorce started happening, is when we started considering therapy. So I may have been in therapy for that whole period. And I think it continued a bit into 8th grade, but I think it actually stopped. Because we moved in 8th grade, we left the state I'd lived in basically my whole life, and we went to the neighboring state, and lived there. But all of that was to say, I've done therapy before. Now I don't recall why I wanted to talk about therapy anymore. My narration, I can't say conversation, right? The conversation derailed a bit too past that too much, and I didn't have it like cemented in my mind, so there's no anchor, which is probably why I was able to talk so much about other crap, is because I wasn't trying to circle back to that speaking point. Okay, there is a coin in here, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm finally remembering that just now on attempt 50 or 100 or whatever this is, right? Oh, I got a lag spike, man. I don't know if that was recorded. I really hope these are, because it will make me feel better. Because obviously I know, like I just observed it, but there's always a bit of doubt, and then there's always the like, I don't know what's called, but where you want other people to agree with you. Like you feel more assured if other people agree with you. And yes, again, not making these videos for anybody, but because there's video evidence, it is like undeniable in a way. It's another eyewitness is the video. Whatever. But yeah, no. And then 8th grade, I don't know if it ever came out that I had her info. I think it did. I think I confessed because I got I used the keylogger to committed a lot of crimes. I stole my mother's credit card information and I used the keylogger, and I purchased some stuff. She tracked her purchases and she was like, hey, she recognized it because I bought something that obviously like I would buy and she wouldn't. And so she asked me about it, and I came clean that I had, oh, that was weird. I had keylogged her stuff, and I was like, and I think I went, and I also did that with the school, like with the homeschooling, or yeah, with the teacher thing. Why is my phone notifying me? What? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to see. Okay. Just want to make sure it wasn't important. I thought it was the Instagram notification sound, but I wasn't confident. I may not be able to finish this level this time. Just again, as it gets later, reaction times already get worse and everything. My conversational skills died too because it's so late. But yeah, and so after that, I actually did really well in high school. You know, I made good friends I no longer have, and the opus falls on me for this, like, as you know, it's when a friendship fails, you know, it falls on both people, right? You know, but I've always been really bad at communication. It's something that I'm trying to work on, and I'm very grateful for my best friend and my father. There are two people in my life that I feel like had to deal with that. They're the people that have had to deal with my bad communication skills the most that have also stuck around, right? If that makes any sense. And so they have allowed me to grow in that, and I'm incredibly grateful for that opportunity because, you know, it's not always great to be the helper in that circumstance. It's like, okay, yeah, because I mean, I would go if I felt awkward or like had any emotion about your text message. I would see it and I wouldn't respond. And then if I ever didn't respond to a text message, you would never hear from me unless you initiated another conversation. Like if I got texted and any amount of time passed, because then I felt like I had to justify why I didn't respond immediately. And I may have mentioned this earlier in this video, of the whole, like, I'm naturally a shy person. I was really shy. Like, I was, adults noticed that right when I was in like Sunday school and everything. I was an incredibly shy kid of the whole outgoing by environment. So I think a lot of those traces of the fact that I'm a shy person kind of carry through into other aspects. But yeah, no, so like any amount of awkwardness, definitely a big social anxiety guy, like struggling with all that. So yeah, I just wouldn't respond. And it was really bad. I mean, oh gosh, I didn't respond to a girl I was dating for like a week one time. I managed to avoid her for an entire week, which is messed up, right? You know, I was dating this woman, we liked each other, and I just didn't talk to her for a week. Say woman, well, she would be a woman now, right? We're all adults now. So communication has always been a skill that I struggle with, and I think I've grown a lot in that skill. I've come a lot farther than where I started, for sure. But yeah, so no, I don't really talk to anybody that I used to go to high school with, and but during then, you know, so because I didn't put in the work and they didn't put in the work, you can only describe them as friends of convenience, right? It's friends because it was like we see each other every day and it's convenient to be friends, right? And I mean, I didn't stay there. Oh, it was also unfortunate because like I did really well in high school up until my junior year of high school, right? I was dating somebody, and It always feels weird to say like popular. It feels so like cliche to say that, but no, I was popular. Like, I mean, I was a theater kid, right? And I did a lot of that. And our theater department at the school I went to for high school was really big and supported by like everybody. Legitimately after one of the performances I was in, I would get recognized in public. I remember I was filling out my car, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you were blah 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 and blah blah blah." It was cool. And then I was also an AP student kid, and so I was really close with those people as well. Because AP kids are just more outgoing for some reason, it seems like. I really don't like the actual route. Like, I feel like the oopsie mistake route is way easier, actually. That's a text message. So that's 2 text messages. That's 3 text messages. Okay. I will check that as soon as I die next time. Like, as soon as I die this time, I'll pause and I'll check that. Wow. I don't know where I was. Right. So like, I knew, and then I was also kind of really bad in high school. Like, I skipped class all the time. I don't know. Anyway, so like, I knew a lot of people at school. I was also close with faculty because of, again, the theater. I became very close with my theater teacher. And so like, we would do, you know, when he had to go to the office or something, sometimes I would walk with him or whatever. So like, I knew everyone in the office. I met the principal a couple times, all only in good, because the principal was also like a big supporter of the theater. Anyways, we had a super popular theater department. So being in that, and then I was one of the like star pupils of my theater professor. It was high school. Anyways, so regardless to say, like, it was good. But then my mother got a job, or she took a job, moved us. We ended up in a totally different area, totally new people. I kind of had to start over, and I still did well there. Like I made a decent amount of friends again, but just friends of convenience, right? I don't talk to any of those people anymore. I also got into some sticky situations relationship wise. I started long distance, but again, because of some of my problems with relationships, that became exasperated, I think, with the distance. And we were both young, right? Like, I was definitely not fully to blame. And then, but things were also going off the rails. Unfortunately, like, it was hard to be there emotionally with everything going on in my life at that time. And so that kind of, you know, made things awkward. Or like, I wasn't able to be there, and I didn't respond necessarily the way I needed to. And when you're long distance, there's so much communication that gets lost. I don't know if I died. I'm realizing I may have died after I said I was going to check the text. I don't know. I'll try to be more attentive of when I die, probably here in a moment, so I can check those texts. But anyways, and then after that, I got into a sticky situation where with multiple girls at the school, whole mess there. So I wasn't in the best of headspaces. No! Wait, I'm so confused. Okay, let me pause. Check texts. What? Okay, what? I just got a really messed up would you rather from my buddy that I'm going to respond to. There is no right answer. Either of these paint me out as terrible, but I'm going to respond because I was texted. And also, it's kind of fun. You know, I'm gonna laugh at whatever like horrible thing he calls me for the decision that he strong armed me into making. Um, I'm not going to say what this is. It's not gross, but it's like evil. You know what? No, I will say it. I will say it. Um, but I'm not going to tell you what answer I'm picking. It might be worse than I'm not telling what answer I'm picking. Um, it's a would you rather eat an alive dog, no sauce allowed, or a perfectly cooked, however you imagine this, human baby with any sauce of your choice. Only technicalities that apply here is age. You can choose any age past 6 months from conception or equivalent for dog. You see how both of those are terrible? There is no right answer, and yeah, no, it's terrible. Um, but I'm not going to leave a man hanging. So I'm going to, gun to my head, universe has bent where I have to choose one of these options. Uh, okay. Um, I think I picked the best of the worst options. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna talk about it. I chose the alive dog, which is terrible, and I'm imagining the horrifyingness of like what it's going through. Oh, that's so horrible. Um, 'Cause it's alive, but my argument was some cultures eat dog, which like I wouldn't eat dog. Um, I mean that's an unclean meat. Um, and but I not only would it be I I'm always going to value human life over animal life. Like you have to, right? And especially a kid. Yes, it's terrible because you're eating a puppy. This is a horrible conversation to have. This is terrible. It is terrible. Which is the whole point. Is reason he sent it to me. He sent it to me so that I could hate myself over it. Um, I of the two horrible choices, I'm not going to, because even though the baby's cooked and obviously dead, it would be alive. Because it's not like the same thing as eating cow, right? If you go vegetarian or vegan or whatever, and you don't buy the meat at the store, it's not gonna, like, they're not gonna just not kill that cow, right? They don't kill an equivalent amount of cows to people that eat cow. But it's illegal to eat human. So if you're eating a human, that human was killed, more than likely killed for the express purpose of you eating it, right? I'm assuming you're not eating a not a daiquiri. Wow, I've lost what they're called. But like when they not dress it up, but uh, yeah. No, I don't have the word. I'm too tired to try to find it either. Anyways, horrible situation. Both options are terrible, but I chose the dog because even though that is bad, I would rather not take the life of an innocent baby, human. That to me, that is the lesser of two evils. Because the argument he just tried to make to me was like that the baby would taste better. He's like, oh, well, you get to pick your own sauce. Bro's trying to make me cannibal. I don't know. He has talked about, and I feel like this is airing like personal. This is like guy group chat stuff, right? You don't talk about this. I'm so confident that no one's gonna see this video that I'm willing to talk about it, which is bad. But thankfully, I haven't said which buddy, because I've primarily talked about my best friend and my father. But I do know other people. I do interact with other people. So we're not okay. I gotta lock in. Come on, gotta stop. I want to go to bed, but I also like want to beat this level. So I would like to beat this level before I go to bed. Anyways, yeah, that so derailed all of my train of thought. I guess that's something I could cut out in like editing, but I might be past the point of no return. I can't lie. Just such a bummer to end everything on. Is like, gotta end it at least on a good run. But then if I'm on a good run, I'm not gonna want to end it. Well, I feel like my skill is degrading more and more as more time passes, right? It's also 1 a.m. and my sleep schedule has been pretty shot. And I have mass tomorrow. That is in the evening, but I don't want to wake up to go to mass, right? Like I would enjoy to do be able to like do other stuff. That's the unfortunate thing. Like these past couple nights, like I may have mentioned, I had the Minecraft server, right? I haven't been doing the best things for my sleep. Definitely some 4 a.m.s. I've been waking up like having to immediately go to work, right? You know, no like leisure time to make breakfast or anything like that, just straight to work. So yeah, I think I might be shot. I want to give it one more good attempt, and I'll call it with that. Okay. I'll qualify that as a good attempt. Thank you. Good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. For me, it's good night. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Mwah.